Hey YouTube, welcome to part 2 of my welding cart project. I picked up a couple of these solid rubber wheels for the welding cart. They're 200mm in diameter. That's about 8 inches for the imperialists. The axle it takes is 3/4 inch. Surprisingly, that's in imperial, whereas the rest of the wheel measurements are given in metric. 3/4 of an inch is 19.05mm, and the rod I have to use for the axle is 20mm. So I'm going to need to turn this down a little bit, and I've already got it set up in the lathe. I've got a mark on how far I need to turn it down, and I've zeroed out the wheel, so here we go. Whoa, that shaft isn't very round. I'll have to measure that and see if I can get enough off to make it down to 3/4 of an inch. Yeah, it looks like about another 1/10 thou needed. I'll take 1/8 thou off in this pass, and if it needs a little bit more, I can do another 2 thou afterwards. I'll give that another measure and see how much we've got left to go. Ah, dear. Could have done the full 1/10 thou after all. Oh well, another quick run down it. Okay, he's running it down now at 2 thou, and I'll give it a second run on exactly the same setting, just to give it a little bit of smoothing. And that worked out fine. We've got exactly what I needed. As you can see, I've got all the pieces for the shell cut to length, and I've put a chalk mark on them where I've got to miter them. I'm doing quite a complex corner on these, mainly to give myself more welding distance. Part of the reason for doing this project in the first place was to get some practice at TIG welding, and consequently I've made these corners a lot more difficult than they needed to be, primarily for the practice, but also because that will allow everything to be flush and it will just look neater and more professional, I think. Now I'm running a little low on batteries, so I'm going to turn the camera off while I do the cuts, and I'll put it back on from time to time just to show the progress. There we go, I've got the miters cut now, and I've got it marked where I have to make the vertical cut to cut a section of the wall out where it's going to fit into the verticals on the frame. If you have a look at the plans, that'll be obvious what I'm intending, or if you just hang in there for a little bit on the video, you'll see it shortly. Got this all cut now. As you can see, I've cut down the one side there. I've done that on all the corners, and I've got one set up over here. You can see that cut down there, and I'm going to cut that piece out along there using the cut-off wheel on the 4-inch 100mm angle grinder. I've got everything cut now. I'll just tip them all right side up and assemble them the way they're going to fit together, and you should be able to see how I intend to fit it into the uprights on the frame. Since the angle line's 50mm or 2 inches wide, and there are 5 joins to be welded on each corner, that's about 10 inches or 500mm of weld in each corner. It's way overkill for what's needed to support the shell, but since part of the reason for doing this was to learn TIG welding, it gives me a little bit more length of weld, more practice, and we'll see how it goes. There's the shelf frame. I've got it all ground off and cleaned up, ready for welding. I'm going to tack it on the table there, and then I'll test fit it in the frame, and if that's all good, I'll bring it back onto the table to finish welding it. I've done the test fit, and that's all gone fine. I've got it back on the table now, ready to finish welding all of the corners. Once they're welded up, we'll put it back into the frame and weld it in place. The frame's twisted a little bit from the welding, so I've had to put a T-bar clamp across the diagonal just to hold the frame together while I weld the shelf in place. It was a little bit awkward to work around the clamp that I had on there. I had to move that once. Because I couldn't get the tack done as well as I would have liked, I've decided to get a second clamp and put that across the other diagonal while I tack that, and then hopefully I'll be able to get them both tacked up strongly enough to take the clamps off and finish the welding. I won't bore you with watching all of the welding. Suffice it to say that the welding went okay and it was all finished to an acceptable standard. We'll progress to build in the next video coming shortly. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope you'll come back for the next instalment. If you'd like a copy of the plans, you can click on the link provided and download them from that webpage.